Hello. So this is my second attempt at making this. But here we go. It's going to be quite rambly, and I would start by saying this video is predominantly about emetophobia. That's predominantly what it's about. And I'm kind of at quite a specific stage of my journey with it. Not a great stage, if I'm honest. And so I think when I feel like I'm really struggling, that is the point at which I like to put the camera on, because I think to myself, well, who knows? One thing I can say is that sometimes there's nothing more satisfying than seeing a journey being documented, and I like it. I like seeing my own journeys documented, and I like seeing others documented. And the other thing is, it can make people feel less alone. All that said, emetophobia being something that, for people who suffer from it, is literally such a hardcore emotional experience. And when you're in the very acute phases of it, it can be so fucking intrusive. It can be so fucking intrusive on your life, and to a point where it's all you can think about is your phobia. And as I'm sitting here, like in the middle of June, and it's so hot, it's also, the other way I would describe this phobia is it's suffocating. It's just suffocating. I feel like there's like bricks on my chest at the moment because of how much I'm struggling. For context, because even though I want to be very real and I want to be really authentic, because I think it's important to be authentic, I think not being authentic is like the key to your mental health doing a madness, to be honest. So it's very important for me to try and be authentic, as you can see by my hair. But although I want to be authentic, I do also want to be able to instill some hope, not just in myself but in others. So this feels like something I could probably spend 10 years talking about, but I need to try not to, because I don't want it to be overwhelming. But my first two things I want to say is this. I suffer from emetophobia, and I'm currently in a point where I've identified, okay, we seem to be in sort of the more critical level. We seem to be in the more crisis area. The way I sometimes, a lot of my life, describe my phobia is like it's dormant. It's not being triggered. I'm living my life. It's fine. And that is when I am my happiest self, and all that. And I don't think about it unless it is triggered. Somebody says something, or something happens, or something like that. So at the moment, I've been triggered. It's been triggered. So therefore, I've noticed that over the last week, I've been struggling a lot and feeling like I'm sort of back at square one. For that reason, feeling like I'm at kind of feeling like I've had a huge, ginormous relapse. I am putting this out there as the start of a journey, and therefore how it seems at the moment, oh, I feel like the light is doing all kinds of weird things. How it seems at the moment is going to be very different from where I want it to be. I want it to get to a point where it's so much more hopeful, and it's about kind of striking that balance for me between being able to make a hopeful video for you guys, also have it be authentic, and also have it not be triggering or preaching or anything like that, which I think can be a difficult balance to strike. So therefore I'm just gonna preface each video by kind of saying how I'm sort of the nature of what I'm going to talk about and that kind of thing. So I know that for some people certain language around the topic of their phobia can be like also a really big trigger. I'm going to use the language I'm comfortable with. Again, the reason I'm going to use the language I'm comfortable with is because I want to be authentic, because to some degree I feel like having emetophobia is a bit, this is just my opinion, is a bit of a metaphor for how there's something bad in you that needs to come out and that kind of thing. And I think that the more I find myself repressing bad feelings or twisting myself too much, the more I feel my mental health suffers. That's such a convoluted, weird way of saying what I'm trying to say. But what I will say is this: if the words that I use are too much for you at this time, I'm really, really sorry. I don't intend to be saying anything graphic. First of all, I don't intend to be saying anything graphic. The only terminology I will be using, because I just find it to be the least, but also for some reason I don't like to use the word ill instead of sick or vomit, or I don't like to, just because for some reason it does something weird to my head and I don't know why. But for me, my favourite term, just because I feel like it's like the least, puts me in mind of it the least, is throwing up, basically. So that is the term that I'm gonna be using. And really genuinely, if that is too much, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But that will be how I'm gonna go forward. And if it's not helpful or if it's too triggering, it's probably best not to watch. And I really, really, really hope that you can this was like such a fruitless thing to say, but find an alternative source that's more appropriate for your needs. And I truly mean that. I truly mean that. I truly hope that there is something where you can find help that doesn't trigger you too much. Because at the end of the day, I know that looking for help with emetophobia can actually be super triggering. Anyway. So this is the gist of kind of where I am. I'm going to give you a bit of a backstory, and then I'm going to start by kind of talking about like day one, this is where I am, these are my current thoughts, and I might even make it a daily thing, because to be honest, at this point it feels like I feel like I'm on the brink of tears all the time. So yeah, things feel a bit desperate at the moment, but basically I've had emetophobia for as long as I can remember, and I know that for me, the times where it was at its kind of peak levels were when I was approximately the age of 9, and then into my late teens, early 20s, up until the age of about 26, 27, where it wasn't triggering me so much. So the last time so I'm 31. I keep thinking I'm 30. I'm 31 because I've just turned 31. The last time I threw up was when I was 9. but technically it wasn't the last time I threw up. That was the last time I threw up when I last had my big, scary brain doing a madness. And so unfortunately, but also potentially not unfortunately, a few days before my birthday, before my 31st birthday, I don't know what happened. I think I had food poisoning. I don't know. But I threw up. And this is the thing that's weird. Compared to when I was 9, and I remember really hating that experience, this was not like would recommend to a friend, but it was so much more manageable. It was so much more manageable. Which is kind of the thing that's a little bit odd about emetophobia, is the fact that it happened. Now, let me just put this in context. That is 22 years between episodes. So therefore, I'm not very practiced. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I don't have a clue what to expect. I don't have a clue. So I'm essentially like a 9-year-old still in regards to that component of life. I'm still a child. I still have a lot to learn. That's how it feels anyway. And so basically, it happened. It was, if you compile a scheme of ways that people could throw up, it was very much on the manageable end of the spectrum. I'm not gonna lie, at the time I was thinking in my head, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it, it's actually happening. But yes, I thought that, and I always knew I was gonna think that, but I'm not gonna use the phrase it wasn't that bad, because it's not the right phrase, but like, I managed. I thought it was going to be the worst experience of my entire life, and it probably wasn't. It wasn't. Which is why I think emetophobia is about so much more than the act of throwing up or whatever. The thing is that on the day I was more focused on just doing what I needed to do and resting, and that was that. And then unfortunately, the downside is that the best way to describe what's happened to my anxiety is I've kind of developed this huge existential anxiety. So I think what it was that has put me in this position is the fact that I've gone from, okay, if I just avoid this, if I just do this, if I for 22 whole years, to suddenly, oh, it did happen, has taught me that it's not beyond me. It's not beyond me to throw up. And to anybody who doesn't have emetophobia, this probably sounds like the craziest thing you've ever heard. However, I'm just going to say it for the people who don't know about it. A lot of the time for people with emetophobia, the phobia is so crippling. A lot of people say that they would rather die. That is me. That was me. That was me. Would rather die than throw up. I actually don't feel like that now. I'm going to say that though. I don't feel like that now. Still fucking hate the idea of it. It still scares me. But like, I don't quite feel like that now, purely because I know I can do it. But that's kind of, I'm still learning. For people who throw up regularly or at a kind of a normal level, this is going to sound very strange, but for a lot of people who are emetophobic, not only do they have avoidance techniques that kind of mean that they don't throw up that often, they also really will themselves not to throw up. They just will it. I will just say this. This was the first time in 22 years where I just said to myself, I think I need it to happen. That was the difference. In all the other times I've been like, please, no, and it's not happened. And I do quite genuinely think that sometimes your body listens to you, and it's like, okay, all right, fucking hell, we won't then, but we'll do it that way instead. This was the first time where I was like, I really don't want to. I hate how I feel, but I was like, I just think I need to. And my body was like, sure, let's do it. So that's kind of a positive spin on it. But anyway, that's enough of that. Because I think for somebody with emetophobia, that's quite enough anyway. It's enough for me too, because as I say, my mind is always thinking about it now, and it's very, very strange. It's very strange because on one hand, here I am saying that day wasn't even that bad, and you know, blah 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 blah, and yet here I am feeling like I am right back at square one, and it is not to do with necessarily how horrible it was. It's not to do with that. It's to do with, yeah, it's not beyond me. It's not beyond me like I maybe thought it might be. Like I hoped it would be. Like I thought it might be like a non-Alison thing to do. And now I think it might be. Now I think it might be the thing that my go-to thing when I'm not well. I don't know. And I think that's the thing. That is the thing that's scaring me, is going from, it's almost like going from one religion, one faith, to a completely different one. Like how would that make a person feel? Like I've changed my entire set of beliefs. It would probably have you feeling quite like the ground underneath you is murky, or like, I don't know, you believe in a thing, you believe in a religion, and then someone goes, that's bullshit, and you're like, it is? Well then what's going on then? It's kind of like that. And I think that is why my anxiety has spiked. That is why it's spiked. Again, this is a huge part of why I wanted to make these videos, is because as I'm sitting here talking, it's helping me understand it too. I recognise that there are so many things. Having food poisoning basically threw me off track. It's the point now where I am to the point now where I could literally be not sitting here looking like, what's a nice way of putting it? Not sitting here looking like I don't know how to take care of myself. I don't look like this because I'm ill. I look like this because I am mentally going through a hard time. And yeah, so I'm I'm physically well, barring the fact that like I feel a bit like my tummy feels almost a bit kind of sensitive, but it always has been, it never hasn't been. But yes, I've gone back to a point in life where I am now not a foodie, and I freaking love my food. I love my food. And I've gone to a point where I am now, when I don't eat, I just don't feel hungry. I am eating, but I'm not eating much at all. And I don't like it when emetophobia fills my brain. I don't like it at all. And I think I probably needed this to happen because sometimes I have moments in life where I'm like, Alison, you need to give this the attention it deserves. Because when it comes over and takes over my life feels, I feel paralyzed. That's such a horrible way to feel. So because of that, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it, and I want to see if I can get myself better. I don't know how much better, if I can get back to how I was before, but then how I was before was extremely emetophobic, but just, like I said, it was dormant. So, yeah. A lot of people feel that emetophobia is a phobia about control, and that fits. I don't feel a lot of control at the moment, in general, in many aspects of my life, in many, and so therefore, yeah, I don't know where to start. And I think that's I think quite honestly, that is the problem. I kind of thought I'll sit here and I'll figure out where to start. I still don't know where to start. I still don't know where to start. Hopefully I'll go away and have a little think after this. I'll probably sit down with my trusty notebook and try and start. And then in the next video I make, I'll talk about what I've been doing. I don't know how often I'm going to make them, but quite honestly, I think that a series on emetophobia healing, or yeah, let's call it that, emetophobia healing, or what can I call it? Emetophobia, like recovery. I can't remember how that sentence started, but yeah. This is what I'd like to make. I'm sorry this is so rambly. Like, I mean, through this video, I'm like, this is not helpful. But this is the first video. I hope for them to become a bit more helpful. I don't know where it's going to end. The ideal situation would be emetophobia free. Ooh, 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 that's me. That's what I would love. But at the same time, I don't know how to get there. But I have a therapist. The thing is, my therapist is on summer break at the moment, and me and my therapist rarely talk about my emetophobia, but I've said to him, we gotta fucking work on this, mate, because this isn't a nice way to live. I think anybody in the depths of emetophobia who's lived through this video so far can attest, this is not a nice way to live, is it? It's not nice, is it? It's really fucking not. Like, it's really not. Living in fear is possibly one of the worst things in the world. So yeah. yeah, let's just see, guys. So yeah, if you have emetophobia, there's not enough words to say how much I hope things get better for you, because it's such a debilitating thing. It's such a debilitating thing, and I don't know about you, but for me it feels like there is literally 3 elephants sitting on my back that I'm walking around holding and making me just want to cry. So if you feel like that, I really hope we can do this together. And if not together, I really hope that you come to a day where you feel different, and just generally different in life. And take your time, do your journey your way. If you don't feel ready to heal, if you don't feel ready to recover, don't. There's no point doing it prematurely. No point. But yeah, I'm sitting here, 31-year-old lady who's had it since she was, probably about 6, but had it very badly since she was about 9. Still here, still with it, still freaking hating it, still wishing it would fuck off. But I think so much about like illness and mental illness, not all of it. Good grief. Like, don't get me wrong, not all of it. But let's take anxiety, say. It's such a psychological thing. It's such a thing that like sometimes something just clicks. Sometimes something just clicks, and you have to be ready. You have to be ready. And I think if you're ready and you believe that you can, that's possibly when it's more likely to happen. Let's see. Let's just see. Half an hour of rambling. All right, guys. If you are doing this as well, good luck. If you are doing this and you relate and you don't want to be thinking about it, take care. And yeah, bye, guys. I'm sending so much love to anybody feeling the same thing.